Mm. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. This is your brother Sean Ali here at Supreme Health and Fitness by Sean Ali. And as always, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in with me and giving me some of your valuable time. And as always, I pray that this brief message is received in the spirit that I'm striving to deliver it in, which is the spirit of your brother, the spirit of love, and of course, and always, in the spirit and in the name of God. This brief message is on oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. Oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. And I just wanted to ask, do you know that there is a proper way and an improper way to breathe? And are we aware of the health consequences from breathing wrong? See, we have an anatomy that was created to function a certain way. But we have been given power over this body, so we can literally make this body do whatever we want, including going against how we were created. So when we look at scripture, when the Creator created man, both major books, the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran, they both say that after God created man, he breathed into his nostrils. And then man became a living soul. So that was the creation of our respiratory system. Oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. So when the Creator created us and breathed into our nostril, his spirit, this began our respiration. So when we look at our physical anatomy, our mouth is connected to our esophagus, which is at the back of your neck, which is your GI tract. Your mouth is the beginning of your GI tract, which goes to your esophagus, which goes to your stomach, your intestines, and your anus. This is a one-way street. Only when something goes wrong, acid reflux, or we build up in gas and we belch or we vomit. But other than that, this is a one-way street. Your GI tract is a one-way street. The opening of our GI tract is our mouth. The nose, the nasal cavities and passages come down, and then you have the trachea in the front of your throat. And your trachea is connected to your bronchial tubes, which are connected to your lungs, right? So this is your respiratory system, and your mouth leads to your digestive system. So if you breathe with your mouth, you are misusing and abusing your digestive system, and you are misusing and abusing your respiratory system. So now there is a significance with breathing through our nose. And the effects of not breathing through your nose, we can find causes health damages at a cellular level. Our cells need two things to produce energy. It needs oxygen and it needs glucose, sunlight. So we have the gift of life from God in the form of oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. Then you have glucose. And these two elements, and glucose is just sunlight in chemical form. These two elements inside of our cells, inside of the mitochondria of your cells, which produces the energy for the cell. It takes the breath of life and it takes the sunlight, and it creates ATP, which is a substance that when it needs energy, it will break the bond to release that energy. This is how the cell gets life. Now, if the cell is deficient in either oxygen or glucose, the cell does not have enough elements to make the energy. Now the mitochondria can become damaged. The DNA of the cell can become damaged. The cell can go through a process called oxidation. This is like when you see rust on metal. That's oxidation. Your cells literally getting rusty and they are oxidizing and dying. So when this cell goes to reproduce, which all cells do, it will reproduce its current condition. So if that cell has oxidized or begin the process of oxidation, when it goes to reproduce, that's what it will reproduce. Now, if you don't know how to stop it at a cellular level, it will turn into a tissue problem, which can turn into an organ problem, which can turn into that system problem, which can in turn cause a problem through your whole unit, which is you. So we are looking at oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form, and understanding the importance of breathing as created and the health consequences that can arise in you from not breathing as you were created, according to your anatomy. So when you inhale through your nose, see, you have hairs at the beginning of your nose. These are there to grab the big particles. Then you have long winding nasal cavities that are filled with mucus and mucous membrane. So as this air is being inhaled through your nose, the hairs are grabbing the big particles. And as this air is going into your nasal cavities, the mucus and the mucous membranes are pulling out the microscopic particles. So by the time, and it's warming the air, especially now in this cold season, the flu season. Listen, so now by the time this air gets to your trachea, it's warm. Your internal temperature is 98.6 degrees. It has purified and cleaned that breath. So now as it's coming down your trachea to your bronchial tubes and ready to be dispersed into your lungs, you have a fresh breath of life. Now, if you don't use your nose to inhale, in your mouth, you have no hairs. You have no cavities to warm the air. You have no hair or cavities to clean and purify the air. Right here at the top of your throat, you have a piece of cartilage that sits like a flap called the epiglottis. And this, it sits there to prevent food from going down your trachea in beverage. So when you use your mouth and you go to swallow air to breathe, you force open that epiglottis and you force that air down your trachea. Cold, polluted, dirty air. So now you have gingivitis, gum disease, tooth decay, tonsillitis. You have upper respiratory infection, lower respiratory infection, lung problems, respiratory problems, asthma. The first drop of blood is in the pulmonary circuit. Your heart beats first to your lungs to get the oxygen. See, the pulmonary circuit is your heart goes first to the lungs to get the breath of life. Then it goes back to your heart to be pumped throughout your body. So now when you use your mouth to breathe and you swallow this cold, polluted, dirty air, not only do you infect and abuse your respiratory system, but now when this blood goes to your lungs to get breath of life, it's getting poison, it's getting toxicity. So the #1 cause of death is heart problems. See, so now when you bring that polluted, dirty air back to your lungs, excuse me, back to your heart, now the first thing, your heart becomes damaged. Now your heart goes to pump it out the left side of your body to your body. So when you have a heart attack, you experience it on the left side, and you be, oh, because see, that the first place in organs, cells, and tissues that this polluted, dirty air infects is your heart, and that artery that leads and goes to pump it through your brain, through your body. Then you got it going up to your head. Then you suffer mental, because our brain needs oxygen. Within 2 minutes of no oxygen, of lack of oxygen, you start to suffer brain damage. After 4 minutes, they don't want to bring you back because you're almost literally 100% comatose, vegetative brain dead, because our brain feeds on oxygen. This is why when you hyperventilate, the only way you can hyperventilate is with your mouth. You can't hyperventilate using your nose. So if you are a mouth breather, listen, these are classifications: mouth breathing, chest breathing. This is shallow breathing, meaning you do not get a full inhalation of your lungs, meaning you create an oxygen deficient environment inside of your body, meaning your cells become starved. They are missing one of the key ingredients it needs to create energy. So now when you grow up and we come into this world breathing wrong, using our mouth, using our chest. By our teenage years, we start to suffer chronic, reoccurring respiratory infections. How many times you take your child to the emergency room this time of the year? See, because we are, how do you catch a cold? How do you catch a flu? See, you don't catch it with your hands, you inhale it through your mouth. Skin then, do you know dust is 90% skin? So if you walk and you see dust, that's 90% skin dander, meaning when your skin sheds, it floats and collects. That's what mostly dust is. So when you breathe through your mouth, you are inhaling other people's DNA. You are what you eat. So if you are inhaling through your mouth, you are literally eating. Even just because you can't see these microscopic elements doesn't mean they aren't coming inside of you. There is no filtration in your mouth. It's in your nose. Oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. Get your copy today so you can understand the importance of breathing as created. And then also we give a comparative study on the detrimental health consequences from not breathing as created. Look, this is called, see that right there? This is from mouth breathing. So when your body adapts to, just like you can go into the gym and change the physical composition and look of your body. See, when you breathe through your mouth, you change the physical composition of your body. On this side, this is from normal nasal breathing. On this side, this is where the child has changed and deformed their mouth from breathing through it. So their facial features has changed. They call it horse mouth. See, this is when you breathe other than created. It changes you. So when you see people with that type of deformed mouth, children especially, this is a key sign of mouth breathing. And when you are pulling that cold, polluted acidic air into your mouth, you are destroying your teeth, your gums, your tonsils, upper respiratory, asthma, lower respiratory, bronchitis, all of these things, because we are not breathing as created. It's just as important to exhale through your nose as it is to inhale through your nose. See, exhale is the waste, CO2. It's poison. It kills you. So when you exhale through your mouth, see, this is where your taste buds is at. You are forcing this waste through your mouth. So now, listen, you destroy your mouth. You destroy your teeth. This is just as destructive as when you inhale through your mouth. You get the same effects of tonsillitis. You get the same effects of gingivitis, destroying your enamel and all of these other type of mouth diseases, including cancer. Oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. Man, look, we have copies available today directly through us, or you can find this in all of my books on Amazon.com and other. If you put my name, Sean Ali, or the title in the search engine, they'll pop up. If not, like I said, you can come directly from us. But the importance is we only have a few life functions. We have to breathe, we have to drink, we have to eat, right? You can go 40 days without food before you suffer from malnutrition and start to die. You can go on average between 7 to 10 days without water, before you suffer from dehydration and start to die. You have 2 to 4 minutes before you can go without oxygen before you die. So when we are looking at the life functions, what we eat is not as important, because I can go 40 days before I suffer death. Water is more important than food, and I'm 75% water, but I can go 7 to 10 days before I suffer the effects of death. Now, breathing, the one thing that I have to do, I have minutes, literally minutes. We should make sure we are breathing right more than anything else. You can get glucose from standing. Your cells need oxygen and glucose. You get the oxygen from breathing. You can go out and stand into the sunlight and get glucose. Glucose is a carbohydrate that comes through the process of photosynthesis. See, so you don't have to eat to get the energy that your cells need to produce the life. But we have to breathe properly. We have to breathe according to our anatomical structure and function. When we don't, it can cause our death. You introduce toxicity, poison, pollution. You introduce an imbalance inside of yourself. Oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. So we look at the creation of man and how, according to both Bible and Quran, once the Creator created us, Scripture says he breathed into our nostrils, and then we became a living soul. So that act of breathing through our nostril was our first act of inhalation, which created our respiratory system. The only time you use your mouth, this is your emergency valve. So if you go and you see your fellow man or woman dead and you need to resuscitate them, you go and you give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation in an attempt to revive them. But other than that, our mouth is connected to our esophagus, to our stomach, to our intestines, and to our anus. It's a one-way street. The only thing that's supposed to come out of your mouth is words, not an inhale or an exhale. So family, get your books today, potentially save your life or your loved ones. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at any time. We are available. We are here today when you want to start to be healthy. Just contact us. I thank you all for tuning in with us and giving me some of your valuable time. And I pray that this brief message was received in the spirit that I was striving to deliver it in, which is the spirit of your brother, the spirit of love, and of course, and always, in the spirit and in the name of God. Oxygen, the breath of life in atomic form. One of the most important things that you can do for yourself is to make sure you are breathing as created. When you go and you look at a dead body, life and death is determined by the ability to breathe. They can hook a tube up and give you food and give you water, but your ability to breathe, to respirate, is what determines your life or your death. So the most important thing that we can do is to ensure that we are breathing as created. And you will see that your cells, once you start to breathe as created, you will be imbued with the breath of life. Your cells that were once deprived of oxygen, that were living in an oxygen deficient environment, now they start to get full of life. Oxygen doesn't create energy, but it helps to facilitate it because our cells need oxygen and glucose for the mitochondria to produce ATP or life energy. So when you forfeit or when you short yourself, when you make yourself deficient in either one of these, then you decrease your life energy. You decrease your ability to be balanced, to fight disease, to fight sickness, to fight your death. And as your brother, we want to save your life. Man! So let's get it. Have a great day, a powerful day. Conquer your day. Set yourself in your heaven at once. It's yours. Go get it. I leave you as I came. Salam alaikum. Hotep. Black power. Power to the people. Peace.